Hey you, it's Bia the Prophet here, and I am ready to guide you through a Law of Attraction reading. Welcome. I appreciate each and every being joining this meeting. Follow me now in this infinite moment for a message for the collected and individuals. Set an intention for this meeting. You already know what you want the reading to clarify. You attracted this reading, and I am cooperating with you. It is mutually beneficial. As I'm pulling the cards, use your intuition as well. Let us know any additional connections you made in the comments below the video, and the collected will benefit from the collective intuition. This is a body, mind, and spirit message addressing the basic human needs for self-actualization aligned to the 9 chakras. So let's go ahead and start with why Spirit has called this meeting today. So many cards fell out. Oh, if I can remember the order in which they fell. These cards fell first, and I laughed. That's how I remember, because 2 readings ago, that card was in the same position. That's not the card. That was this card. Guys, sorry if I put them in the wrong positions. We have to assume that they have fallen out, or they are being placed in the right positions, and I didn't get the entire order intentionally. That's part of the message. So if they fell out in a different position and it's resonating with you in that position, go with that. Let us know in the comments so that we'll all benefit from your intuition as well. Okay, so this is almost all the cards that we need for the spread, as you can see. And so I was just reminded that there were some new things incorporated into the readings. Spirit gave me the message. You might also see, if you've been here before, I changed the table just a little bit, and I noticed that there's like a square up on every corner of the table now, and I got the message to put the other decks that may come into play in the window so that they can be charged by the moon and the sun. I don't know if you watched the reading where I mentioned it, I changed residence, but I put the table exactly like it was because I liked it, right? But then I noticed there's differences, like the window sill is lower in this place, so there's a little shelf right here now that I didn't really have before, that you can see maybe a tiny little bit, but up here I have decks that might come into play, and I have stones on them that need to be charged with rose quartz, and different types of stones for the deck that I was inspired to put on the deck. So there have been changes, things have been moved around, things have been added, and Spirit is reminding me, I'm just letting you know, that for the last couple of readings that I didn't put those new additions in, but I'm getting used to the new setup, so I forgive myself. Okay, let's start with this card. Let's see if we are still having we're still talking about the same thing that we've talked about 2 readings ago in the last reading. We have the ego card in the spirit position, which is aligned to the crown chakra. This is what you're meant to understand. Nope. You can be, do, and have whatever you want is the message that came out again. The additional message is reclaiming your power. feeling more in control, and into codependency. This card, it's so funny. This card came, like how many cards? Look how thick this deck is. There's 78 cards. Any cards could come out. So potentially within a few readings, we could get a whole new set of cards. Some cards I rarely see, like this card I was talking about not too long ago. I rarely see this card, but here it is today. So let's see what's going to happen. In the position of the Earth Star chakra, we have the energy of the Five of Fire, and this is what you're meant to acknowledge. This is the current focus of your mind. This is the current focus that Spirit would like to bring in. You can be, do, or have whatever you want, but it's about ending your feeling of being trapped, and into that, and accepting responsibility for your life. Excuse me. The Five of Fire in this deck, for me as a reader, is about practicing. Practice makes perfect, but you'll never be perfect. You never get done, but practice is what moves you closer to your idea of perfect. And perfect is when you realize it, when it's manifested into your life. Whether you allow it in or not, there is the perfect timing of that. Perfect timing is what I'm told is the takeaway from what I just said. So the Five of Fire is talking to us about practice to create perfect timing for something. It's about walking away from the conflict, and I'm getting the conflict with yourself about it, walking away, not being in conflict with yourself, being in competition with yourself, and being in competition with yourself, another word for that is practice. So you get better and better than you were before every single day, right? This is what you're meant to acknowledge. And then in the position of body, which is aligned to the Gaia chakra, this is what you're meant to trust, the Two of Water. The Two of Water is about balance and duality. The two is about balance and duality. And so the Two of Water is about balance and duality of emotions or relationships or intuition. So you're meant to trust the balance. I heard of your ego and your source is how I heard it. So I usually say whatever name you call the whole of who you are, your connection with all that is, and the best word in this particular situation seems to be source. So balancing that. So this is a continuation message. Balancing and forgiving your ego. Oh, okay. Forgiving your ego for the tantrums. It throws the, I'm told tantrums is enough. Forgiving your ego for the tantrums. The whole of you doesn't throw those tantrums with you, but the whole of you does use those tantrums to help you blurt out what you really want. You know how when you're angry, you might blurt out things, and I always feel when somebody blurts something, they say it without even realizing that's their spirit. That's what they really feel. And what they really feel, you could take it as an insult to you, but it's just what they really feel. It has nothing to do with you. And what if they blurt out, for example, that they are racist, something like that? Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with you that they're racist. They can be racist if they want to, and you can live your life and be, do, and have whatever you want just the same. It's their thoughts. Their actions could affect you, but whatever their action is going to benefit you. You might not see the benefit right away. If you don't and you want to, you can ask for that as a side note, but it is benefiting you because there is nothing anybody can do to you. You are doing everything. You are creating the reality that is. So if you create a racist in your experience, then that is something that you want to think more about. So you might blurt out that you're a racist and realize, oh, I'm no better, that's just an example. But I always take a strong stock in what somebody blurts out. Especially when you can see it all over their face that they didn't mean to say that, because that's how they really feel. And then now you know how they really feel, and then you can move on with your life with that new learning and understanding that you couldn't use the information that you didn't have. So if someone is keeping, for example, that they're a racist in the dark, then you might be working towards being their friend, and it's likely that you're not going to be their friend. Or if you do, you have to understand that you are an ambassador for your race, and they are probably in the relationship to learn more about the race so that they won't be racist. Otherwise, why would they even put up with you when they could do other things? You know what I mean? So you're bringing that person to you for both of they're bringing you to them, and you're bringing them to you for the betterment of you both. That was the message. I don't even know how I got here. In the position of security, which aligns with your root chakra, this is how you feel about your sense of security. We have the King of Earth. So you feel as though you are, this is about some sort of experience. I don't know why the stories or the anecdotes that pop into my head. I have to assume that it's making the reading clearer for someone out there. This is, it's what I'm guided to say. And so sometimes, I'm like, I'm not sure if that's my ego, and then spirit will keep pushing, and then I'm like, okay, let me just say this story. It's long-winded, but here we go, guys. Bear with me. Anyway, you are feeling grounded. The King of Earth is grounded. You are feeling like you have perspective, because that is the position of the king. A king has perspective of the whole, and has guides and counsels that give him the perspective of all the people, so that he can make the best decision possible for the whole group, or the whole, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it, and so I'm going to move on. But the King of Earth specifically is about what's happening in the physical world, because it's pinnacles, right? It's earth, it's on earth. And the king is very compassionate, very accomplished. The king is charismatic. The king is, this is a successful king. Not all monarchs in history were successful. Some of them were beheaded, but this king is successful in the physical world. So this is the energy that you are feeling, that you are accomplished, is the word that stands out. And then in the position of health, we have the 8 of water. So this is what needs to be taken care of, either nurtured or cut out. And this card came up in the last reading, and we were talking about walking away from beliefs or values that no longer served you. So we're talking about, like, this is the epitome of this position, nurtured or cut out. Cutting out the beliefs that no longer serve you and nurturing the beliefs that are yours as an individual, that you have thought about and decided, yes, this is my goal, this is what I want, and thought to yourself about why you want it, so you can feel the emotions associated with having it, whatever it is that you want. And so using those emotions, you can manifest it into your physical world. So why really helps you find the emotions you need to actually create. So this 8 of water and King of earth is clarifying this 2 of water, which was about balance. Balancing your values for your success. In the position of esteem, we have the 6 of air. The 6 of air is another card that talks about moving away from challenging times. In this position, aligned with the solar plexus chakra, this is what you do. So the best quality and skill for the actualization is communication, cooperation, harmony in your thoughts. Harmony with your truth. Sometimes we want things and it's not okay. And I talked about this in a previous reading, which is apparently still going. It's not okay with the people around you what you want. It's okay to want whatever you want. You might have to change the people around you. If you're not willing to change the people around you because they won't let you allow what you want to come in, then you're not allowing what you want to come in by holding on to those people. You can, if it's your family and they are totally against what you want to be doing, then you might need to get a new family to surround yourself with, of people who support what you want. And that seems hard, and they tell us, oh, family is the most important thing. It is, because it's likely because of your family that you are able to clarify that that is what you want. And if every time you think about it you feel horrible because of what you have come to understand in life you should do, then that's your indicator that you are really passionate about this. And so you need to find a way to let it in, otherwise you won't ever have it. And you can't not want what you want. You can change your mind though about what you want. So you can't just stop wanting something, but you can change your mind about what you want, so you can want something else. And if that something else is not aligned with the first thing, so let's say you want a particular person, but the relationship is so painful that you start to question, do you want it? So think about what it is you want. Do you really want that person that makes you feel awful? Or do you want a relationship with a person that makes you feel good, right? And then you're thinking about, why do you want that relationship? Getting into the feelings of why you want that relationship. If you're wanting that person to solve all your problems, you might not, you might get opportunities to solve all your own problems, because you're creating your own reality. Nobody else is creating your reality. Nobody else can solve your own problems. So you're getting a relationship that will show you that you can solve your own problem. But why do you want a relationship? Like, what do you need the relation, not need, but what do you want the relationship for? If you just want it to feel good, then you're going to get a relationship that just feels good. But you have to sit in that energy and release the fact that your family thinks you should be in a relationship by now. You shouldn't be in a relationship by now. You should be in a relationship that feels good, because that's what you want. So there was another little soliloquy. In the position of belonging, which is aligned to the heart chakra, you have the one of earth. So the one of earth is about a windfall of abundance. Oh, it's so interesting. On this card it says wise counsel and good fortune. And I always shuffle the deck before I start the reading. And I don't start the reading until the deck speaks, because then, that's my little agreement, that when the deck speaks and the deck is ready to speak, because I have been in situations where I'm on camera and I'm shuffling and the deck is just not ready. The cards aren't lined up the way they need to be. But the two cards that fell out was the wise counsel and the wheel of fortune card, that let me know that the deck was ready to start the reading. And so it's a coincidence. So I meant to remind you about the wisest counsel is yourself. You have to, in order to trust that you are, like every day, every reading, I'm offering you options on what you might do to get closer to your source so that you can manifest the things you want. I'm offering you things I've tried, things that I've seen and heard about, whatever evidence I have that could be a source of inspiration for you to get there. I'm trying to make it available. That communicating with your source is the best way for you to have good fortune. Things are always working out for all of us either way, but some things we don't prefer. It's still working out for you. It's still, the law of attraction is still bringing you what you're manifesting. And if you're manifesting with negative energy, you're going to get things that you deem negative. So if you want to have good fortune, you have to be thinking good thoughts. So that's why I'm always encouraging that, thinking good thoughts, feeling good feelings, appreciating, reveling in it, using the energy to actually create things into your reality. And if you try it, and like I said, I'm offering ways that could work, and your inner being will also offer you information based on what you're hearing. If you're collected here, that makes more sense for you as an individual, right? And then we have in the actualization position the transformation card. This card is like the Tower in other decks, but it's not like the Tower because it has a different name, it has a different depiction, all of these things. It has a slightly different perspective than the traditional meaning of the Tower card. It's a wider perspective. It talks about a significant life change, though, or an experience that requires change to be made, which is what we're talking about here before. doing the needful to get what you want in this life. How you have to also be a cooperative component to the manifestation, not just the people coming to you. And you have to understand that everything that happens is happening for you and not to you. It's a different perspective of what's happening in your life. So we're talking about perspective for your security, right? So there's an indication that some sort of changes need to be made for you to walk away from, or either for you to walk away, or that causes you to walk away from values or beliefs that are not serving you or not yours. It's just the way that you've been thinking, and that doesn't mean you have to always think what you've thought. If you always do, the expression says, what you've always done, then you'll always be what you've always been. You always have what you've always had. So you can switch be, do, and have around in that particular saying, and it will continue to make sense, and it will continue to be true. Oh, that card didn't want to come out. So we're talking about the throat chakra alignment. So how you express yourself in the actualization. Every time I get to the throat chakra, ooh, it might be that someone doesn't want to say something. I was going to say how you are expressing yourself in the actualization is unexpected revelations. And so the thought I'm thinking about with that is blurting something out. So take that how it resonates. Abundance is your right, are the words of wisdom that Spirit feels like will help clarify this reading. Abundance is your right. I was asked to emphasize it and being told that you know what it means. It's a right. What does right mean to you? Okay, now we just need one more card for the answer. Abundance is your right. So I am being called to point out that these two cards had the same archangel specialty. So this is what your guides are trying to help with, right? If you remember what that was, I don't, but you can watch the video if you the last video. And I also noticed that there was a card, and it wasn't this card, but I can't remember what card it was, that was the 10. And so you can see these, you might be able to see that these two cards have the 20, which is judgment, and oh, that's what it was, the Wheel of Fortune. And the 10 is the energy of the Wheel of Fortune. So we had the major arcana and now the minor arcana. As I say that, the card we need just flips over so nicely. So isn't this interesting how it's so funny how I still continue to notice new things about this deck. But how these pictures kind of look the same, but everything is reversed. So she has blonde hair, he has blonde hair. He has brown hair, she has brown hair. He's an older person. This is like a child-like figure. But look at the house. It's the same. There's one cup, and then there's all these other cups here, and then there's 2 cups. So she's offering a cup, he's offering a flower. Here they're both offering cups. It's balanced, it's equal. So we imagine that this is over time. And the flowers are like growing right here in the field. But what does the dog have to do with it? This is the exact same house, because look, you can see over the top of his head, I think you can see, it's like a green bush and then a yellow bush. And this is a green bush, but here it's a green yellow and it's red, but leaves change color. So it's a different time, a different season. And there's a different perspective as well, because they're much further away from the house. See how the path turns this way? So now they're at the edge of that path over here. So there's a different perspective. They're even wearing the same color. So it's like the roles are reversed. And now he has the cup. And maybe she was the one with the flowers. But she has the cup, or maybe she has the cup and he's like, oh, I brought a cup too, you know? Interesting. But what does the dog have to do with it? I'm being told the dog will come out later. We'll hear more about the dog. So stay tuned, people. There's more to come on this message. All right, so what is the current what are the influences at work, Spirit? What are the influences at work? We learned a lot about the energies that are at work, but what are the influences? Seraphim's Gateway. So funny. This card says voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. And I also would like to get a card here. Oh, Spirit saying not the top card. You already know what the top card is. It's the Sun, because I shuffled this deck until it talked. And what is, okay, I was going to say, what is at the heart of the matter? This is a new edition. The heart of the matter, using this shiny deck. So I got the message that more cards wanted to be involved. So we have, and I'm just moving the card around so the light will play and maybe highlight something for you and your intuition. This is the Temperance card, which this is the Archangel from the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is about balance. We always, even in this deck, the Temperance, the Archangel is depicted balancing, alchemizing something using emotions. But I'm just noticing that he has the symbol for fire on his chest, or they. Sagittarius. So something about a Sagittarius at the heart of the matter, because I was drawn to that energy, or drawn to that illustration, I'm also, and I don't know, like, pay attention to how the light is dancing on this card, or what it's highlighting on this card, and what color the light is, because I know that rainbowish light appears in the reading, and the way the light plays in the reading is part of your intuition. So we already know that people don't always see the same colors when they look at things on, you know, images and everything like that, from the whole, what was it, a dress, from the dress, the blue, or I don't even remember, but we know that everybody doesn't see it the same. So how you're seeing it is how you're meant to see it. But I'm also being drawn to this volcano. I'm calling it a volcano, but it might not be a volcano. It might just be the sun shining in the background, but I called it a volcano, so there it is. And on this illustration, he has his toe dipped in the water, and I'm told to give you that message: dip your toe in. And that is what I have for now. Take this message however it resonates for you, and look forward to the components of this message showing up in the coming hours, days, and weeks in different ways. That's just how the law of attraction works. Until next time, remember, you and you alone create your reality. Enjoy.